I'm AJ.
I'm Alex.
And this is NTVN, New Tech Vintage Nerds. Today we're going to talk about photography and perhaps some 3D printing if it's time left. But before we do that, we got a couple of topics from last week remaining. I was going to do something with Luxon and Luxberry. I miserably failed. And you were going to paint and do an upgrade on your homie, I believe.
Yeah, sort of, yes.
And it also miserably failed.
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, we do. It did have some drawbacks, but we'll talk about that later.
So, kick that intro.
You wanted to talk about photography.
I wanted to talk about photography because I got a lot of questions and a lot of ideas. So I know we both do a lot of photography. Well, for me, it used to be
not as much as I used to.
That was what I was going to say. In the past, I did more. But I was curious about all kind of things because I started photography way back on film. That was pretty funny, but since this is new tech, I also started doing something with digital photography, and I got my first digital camera when I bought my first house, I believe, well, actually more than 20 years ago. And I think it was quite a journey to getting from there to here, because that one was low resolution. It sucked at low light.
Was that the one on floppy drives?
No, not floppy, but like SD cards like this.
Right.
I hold my fingers 10 centimeters apart. Yeah.
We had one back in the day. I think it was a Sony. It was a company camera, and that thing actually shot pictures on floppies.
Yeah, and you heard it taking pictures.
Yeah, I still can't imagine how on earth that would work, but well, anyway, it did, and the quality was appalling, obviously.
Yeah, so the same was for my first digital camera, like with a big SD card. And I think it was a Fujifilm. Then big on photography. Now I'm not sure.
So the very first camera I got, well, it wasn't actually my camera. I just borrowed it. And I think this is late 90s-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing looked like a point and shoot. But I think the resolution was like 640 by 420 or something like that. It was pretty bad. I can't remember the brand. It was something... I really can't remember. We had a lot of fun with that camera. I think I was working at a call center back in the day for US Robotics, and I think we photographed everything and everyone. So I still have those pictures, by the way. So yeah, it was fun times, but that thing didn't have anything in terms of removable storage. You just had to link your whole camera to the computer to just read the onboard memory.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's old. like with a serial cable, or was it already?
No, USB? it was already USB, but the thing was ancient. Let me see if I can find a. Oh, that's the wrong machine, Alex. Let me see if I can find an example picture. Well, you talk while I judge.
Yeah. So I started with that old one, but now I got a pretty decent camera. It's old again. I have a Canon, I believe it's a 90D, so it's pretty decent, but I took a lot of pictures with it in the past, and I really like to take pictures of landscapes and buildings and stuff like that, but I don't really like to take pictures of people because, well, I'm a nerd and then I have to talk to people. Do you mind taking your picture or just taking a picture and run away? It's not my style. So everything that doesn't talk back, I take pictures of. And then I have to manage them and since it's a lot easier to take pictures than in the past, I have a lot of pictures, and it's hard to throw something away.
Yeah, you just gather more and more, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, and it's well, it's even worse now, I believe, with the mobile. Well, with your mobile, wanted to say mobile camera, but duh. With your phone, because now you can take a picture anytime, everywhere where you are, because it's already in your pocket. So I think I've more than 20 or 30,000 pictures. I'm not sure actually, because I try to manage them, but it's well, it's hard.
So I actually found a picture of back in the day, and I'm going to scare some people now because this is. It was actually 640 by 480, so the good old 3x2.
Mm.
This is the picture that
Oh my god!
we made back in the day. Um,
Are you
Honestly,
photographing somebody else, or was that you?
well, this was us actually messing around with the camera, and the guy in the back is one of my co-workers back in the day. So if you look at the EXIF information, there's nothing in there. It's just completely blank.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any information at all, apart from 640 by 480, 96 DPI, 24-bit depth. My God. And that is all the information that the thing stored in EXIF, and nothing else. So yeah, this was the quality back in the day. This was as good as it got.
It is actually pretty okay-ish. It's not
It
4K.
is not bad, but it is in no way a comparison to modern cameras, right? So
No.
this was no, definitely not.
No, and it's doable, but like with Canon 90D or a more modern camera, you get a lot of more pixels, and you can do a lot
Oh yeah,
more with a picture.
but I mean, in all fairness, let me just check if the data's in. I don't think it screwed up the created date as well. It says 2013, which is definitely not correct. I'm very sure about that. I think the creation date is somewhere, I think 98, 99 ish.
Okay.
So that's well over 20 years old. And I mean, for that time, the quality certainly isn't bad.
No, it was a good picture. So, what do you photograph? Take pictures of? I mean, I do with everything that doesn't move
Well,
or
I've
actually
done
doesn't autograph.
everything in the past, basically. I mean, I've done a couple of sessions for work. I think I've done an awards ceremony and some other stuff. Done some team events with people. Mostly, though, it's city photography, landscape. I do bring my camera and my camera bag every holiday, so that's quite a bit of luggage.
Yeah.
But it is fun, and I like to look at architecture, or something that stands out of the place where you are. The most recent visit was actually to Dublin, which I can recommend to everyone. It's a very nice city to be in. Very small city center, but very cozy, and the people are lovely. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a story ready for you, right? They're all happy to have a chat, and that is, it's a bit the community feeling that we kind of lost a bit over here. So that's very nice, and I made a couple of pictures at Trinity College, at the riverfront. So that was quite nice. Yes.
I
So that's
also
mostly what I do.
I also saw some wildlife pictures, I believe, from in the past.
Oh yeah, we did deers on the Veluwe, the nature reserve here in the neighborhood, and you always have the what's it called? Well, it's in the autumn time when the deer are fighting for partners and territory and such. That it's quite impressive to be there, and they've got a couple of wonderful photography spots. And I actually rented a lens back in the day because I didn't have the appropriate telezoom lens, and that was quite an experience actually. So that was very nice to do. And well, funny is that I also photographed some wild boar with the with little ones, so the striped pigs.
Yeah.
They're so cute. It's like they all wear a pajama. And seriously, yeah, that's. I think that was a wonderful day actually. So that's one of the things that we did in the past, and I still like to go out and just take the camera along and just see whatever we come across along the way.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite lens for those kind of things? Telephoto lens, obviously, but
Well, I'm a bit on the fence about that because I actually want to buy a bigger one. Or yeah, so a larger one, the 150 600. But the reason why I didn't do that is because I never came around to justifying the investment because it's it's about 1,200 euros or so,
I know.
and for the 3 times a year that I actually would take that thing out, I don't know. It's too big of an investment right now. I'm sure I'll buy one in the future, but and right now the go-to lens for that is a 70-200, which is one of the L lenses from Canon. I've got a Canon 8D2, I think. And one of the best things about that camera is it's quick. It's damn quick. This is one of the few dual CPU cameras that Canon brought out, and I love that thing. It's just I can just hold on to the button, and it just continues to click 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 click.
Okay. Probably with a fast card in it.
It does have a fast card. I run 2 cards because it has a dual card slot. It has compact flash, which is my the main card and the one I store the raw footage on, and it also has an SD card, full size SD card slot, and there I store the JPEGs. So for quick sharing, I can always pull out the SD card and just share the JPEGs on there. And for the actual, the real deal, I always have the raw pictures, the raw format, and those are the ones I use in Photoshop and elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got a one. What's it? It's a 100-400 lens of Canon.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's one of those lenses that you use 1 or twice a year, but when you do, it gets stuff pretty close.
You have the Hoover, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Mark One, the Mark
Yep.
100-400 L lens, and that's the one that you pull out and push in.
Yeah.
And I think Canon didn't really pay attention to the seals that you need on the sides of the part that goes in and out. So eventually it will act like a Hoover, like it will suck in the dust, and once in a while you have to actually take that thing apart and then clean it inside and out and then put it back together.
Well, I don't have much dust in it, but it's hard to set it stable. I did a lot of photography of planes, and when I was looking up into the sky, the lens caved in on itself. It's hard
Yeah,
when you.
it's got a lock ring, but that is the
Yeah,
first thing that goes when it's an older one. That's the first thing that dies.
yeah.
So yeah, that is very annoying.
Yes, it is. And
Although I loaned it once from you, and it was actually quite good at shooting birds. I
yeah, oh,
did
yeah,
quite quick actually.
yeah. Well, I only shot metallic birds like planes, so um, it was most of the time straight up or pretty far in the distance. So
I shot frigate birds at what's that called north of you?
Hilde? Oh,
No,
sorry, real birds.
yeah,
Lovers. Oh,
that's the place. Yeah,
yeah,
they had a bunch and a bunch of frigate birds on the side there, and I shot a couple of them.
yeah. Well, it's actually a nice lens to use. And one of the other lenses I use a lot is the 1020 or 1024 of Sigma. It's a
Yeah, the wide
it's
angle.
nice. Yeah, it's nice
Yeah,
for city photography.
definitely. I've got a couple of lenses I'm actually very fond of. Um, I've got the plastic fantastic lens,
Oh, the 50 mil.
50 mil.
Yeah, I got them too.
That is, and especially because it has an f1.2 stop, right? That you can do very nice tricks with that thing. I love it.
Yeah,
But it's got its specific use cases. It's amazing for city photography if you have the right angle. Usually, though, I mean the Canon 8D is actually an APS sensor, so not a full frame.
yeah, crops.
And because of that, it can because of that, it can you can also use EFS lenses.
Yeah,
And the EFS lens I've got on there is my standard go-to lens, which is almost always on the camera, and that's a 1585. And that thing is ideal for most scenarios other than telephoto. So if you really need proper zoom, this sucks because it stops at 85.
yeah,
But in all other cases, as a portrait lens, as a city lens, as a mild wild angle lens, it's wonderful.
yeah.
And
And
you never have to to change the lens because it's an all-in-one, right? It's
yeah,
1585. You've got that ideal sweet spot between the 50 mil wide angle and the 85, which is just about zoom.
yeah. I got something similar. It's 18 1/5. Looking at my lens collection, I'm actually not sure what it is, but it's just it's like the kit lens, but it goes a bit further.
Yeah. And one of the lenses that which is actually the last new lens I bought is my macro lens.
Okay.
And I really like that thing.
What I know what a macro lens is, but what do you do with it?
Well, the funny thing is that it's also ideal for portrait because it's got a very nice bokeh. But well, obviously, I mean, you do macro with it.
Okay. So you are in the garden looking at leaves and little animals and photograph that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that actually is a world on its own. I can tell you that is something you really, really have to. Yeah, it's when you dive in, it's just I don't know. I like it.
Cool.
Let me just get. Oh my god, I did it wrong again. I'm sorry.
You're looking and sharing something else, and I got to put it
Yeah,
all
but
back
it's
in the
not.
video later on. Well, thank
It's
you.
not. It's not working. Let me just do that differently. I've got the wrong program for that because it always opens the picture in full size, and that's very annoying.
So you do a lot of city photography, macro.
I do some, yeah.
Do you also take pictures inside? Well, you talked about events that we did for our respective employers.
Yes.
But do you do anything else indoors? I mean, when I go take pictures, it's almost always outside. Oh, nice. What is it?
So what you see here is a wasp on lavender.
Okay.
And this is actually not fully zoomed in. It can do even better, but when I came closer, the wasp actually was scared away. So, but I do have, but I can't find them right now, a couple of very nice butterfly pictures as well, where you really see them completely full screen, and you can actually see that the antennas that they have black and white stripes.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either until I made the picture, and then in Photoshop noticed, hey, look at that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So we talked about this before the recording. Your photo management differs a bit from my management.
I don't know photo management.
Exactly. I try to. I know that things get lost. That's why I also do the gridfinity, and I need to make sure that everything has its place. So the same goes for photography. I have a structure based on year. On after the year comes the event. What I'm doing, if it's a day shooting outside, or if it's a day with friends, then I put that into a folder. And in that folder, when I do different days or different cameras, I also put those in separate folders. Because I do 360 photography, I use my drone to take pictures. I have my Canon 90D, and I have a spare 650D that I take pictures with. So I want to make sure that everything has its own place. When I go do some cleaning up of the photos, I actually know which camera it is. And not purely based on a metadata, but really it has its own folder.
I tried to do that, but I miserably failed. And what I end up with is I've got a big file share, and in that file share, I've got folders, and the folder has a year and sometimes a date, and then a description of whatever I did or whatever we went. But some just say holiday California.
Yeah, okay.
And that was a holiday of, I think, 14 days or something, 20 days. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Quite long, almost 3 weeks. And that's just almost 3 weeks of pictures.
Oh, yeah, just in one folder.
In one folder.
Well, if it works for you, it works.
And there are also a couple of movies in there made with my late hero, because I sold it. And there were a lot of pictures in there made with the Canon, but it's all in one folder. And basically my photo management stops there. That's it. I don't do more.
I try to manage the picture also with tagging them. I even wrote some Python code that did some image recognition so that it could tag the pictures with there's a tree on it, there's a bike on it, there's a boat on it. Nowadays it's a lot easier, but in the past I did something with my video card and a bit of Python code. And I also try to keep all those raw images. I'm not sure why, but I keep all the raw images. I cannot throw a picture away. My wife says, well, it's failed, it's blurred. Yeah, I know, but I can't throw it away because technology might evolve, and then I can rescue that picture.
Yeah,
even though I got 25 of those pictures.
I recognize that a bit. If the photo really is a fail, I'll just toss it right in the camera.
Yeah.
Which Oh, by the way, hello Canon, this is a bug. If I toss a picture in the camera, it will delete it only from the SD card, not from the SF card.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the CF card it's still there, but on the SD card it's not.
Oh, that's odd.
I don't know why. Hello Canon, bug.
You obviously mailed them already.
No, I haven't bought it. But something else that just sparked my interest. You said I make 360 pictures. So how do you do that?
Well, I got a Insta 360 camera. That's actually a camera with two wide lenses on it, two cameras of 180 degrees, and with software it stitches those together, and then it creates a 360 picture.
Oh, nice.
And it can do that for pictures, but also for movies. So you can record stuff, and after the fact, you can point to, this is something that I want to see, or I want to focus on. So when I edit those things, if I edit those things, then you can actually see what was interesting before. Example, we went to Germany with friends, and we didn't know what was happening around us. We went to a bowling alley, and I just put a camera down and we went bowling. So what I could do afterwards was take a shot of the person that's going to bowl and follow the ball when it left his hand to the end. So that's something that you can do with a regular camera, but then you got to make sure that you film everything at the correct angle, and you already have some motion in it. It's a bit hard.
You'd have to be a professional to do that.
I'm not good at that, no. So with the 360, it's put it down, just make sure that it's on a tripod and can see everything you want to be in the picture. And afterwards, you can just put your focus or your vantage point and switch it to where you want to go. It's really neat.
Okay.
So I want to do it with everything, but since it's a ultra wide angle lens, it has some disformation in the picture on the top of the picture and the other. So it stretches it, but
everyone becomes a broadmouth frog.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I got a picture of myself on my website, and I'm not gonna share the URL, but I got a big forehead in that. I do have a big forehead, but that's because of the hair. But you got to make sure that you take the correct camera, or the correct picture with the correct camera. So the same goes with drones. I mean, I can take pictures from 120 meters above, but then you see a bald spot. Well, actually, no, never mind.
You see a bald man.
But if you go down and you take a picture in front or at 30 meters, then you get a complete different composition and a different picture altogether. So those are nice tools, but know when to use one.
Yeah, I've looked at drones, and I did a bit of model planes way back in the past, but it was not a hobby for me because it required a lot of patience, and mostly you were repairing the plane from whenever you crashed it, and then you went flying for 15 minutes, and then you crashed it, and then you were 3 weeks in gluing the bloody plane back together again. That thing was made of balsa wood and lacquer paper. No, it was very nice though, but not my cup of tea.
No, the drones these days are better.
What I did like about those things were that you had models where they actually had a petrol engine and a petrol tank, and you can fill that thing up to the rim, and you could actually fly for 30 minutes, which is a stretch with the current drones, the electrical ones.
Well, actually, I got
modern ones maybe, but
yeah,
the ones from the last couple of years, it was 15 minutes, and then
yeah. Well, and it's mainly if
they
you
would.
build them yourself. If you build them yourself, then the battery is most of the time not very big. But the commercial one I got, a DJI, I can fly around 32 minutes on one battery, and I have 3 batteries on it. And
I looked at a Mavic, I think.
yeah, yeah, that's a DJI drone.
The small foldable one,
Yeah,
just to take on holiday, and just because we're just us two, and if you want a picture of the both of you, I always have to search someone else or someone's holding the camera. And I was just looking at a way to avoid asking someone to hold the camera or to take the picture, especially when you're out and about in, I don't know, in some nature reserve or somewhere.
yeah,
It would be nice just to have a picture of the two of you, and the surroundings without having to search someone in the vicinity who can actually take the picture.
yeah.
But that might be also a challenge because I was in a nature reserve in Spain, and in the nearest kilometer there was no one.
Yeah. Well, if you had a drone, it was the question if you're allowed to fly it there. But well, actually, you can then.
That I do not know, but yeah, that was one of the things I looked at. But the flight times and the purchase price actually threw me off.
Yeah. Well, I got one. Just getting it. Talk, talk, talk. Where is it?
It can do specifically the modern ones. They can actually follow you around and take nice pictures while you are walking out and about.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. And I'm well. This is one I got. Well.
Yeah, the one I looked at was quite a bit smaller, though.
Yeah. And it actually has a great gimbal. If you use it, then it makes sure that what you film is always straight if you want
Yeah.
it. And then you have to put it back together, and I always struggle.
I don't think that is something for me then.
Well, putting it back together, no.
I don't have the patience for that. So what is it that you photograph?
I photograph, well, cityscape, landscape, also from above. And I try to make it interesting. We have sculpture here in the village, and I made a couple of pictures of that with my phone, actually, and just make sure that it's nice. I did a contest with friends, and then we asked our partners to vote on pictures. So we really had to struggle to get great pictures with your mobile phone. So we just went into town, and we each had a maximum of 5 pictures that we could take, and we were allowed to do some tweaking on the pictures, but no real photoshopping. And then actually, one of the things was a large statue within our village, and the other one was a owl carved out in the wood. And for the rest, it's more nature. Like I said, when they talk back, I am very hesitant to take pictures.
Yeah, I'm not a people photographer. Specifically, I like cityscape photography. So the architecture and the some details of features in architecture that you then see. But I do not like photography. I always wait for people to leave before I take the picture.
Yeah, me
Sometimes
too.
that is not happening, right? I mean, if you are on the bridge in Dublin, it's well, you can forget about being alone there. But Photoshop fortunately can do a neat trick. As if you take a picture, you wait 5 minutes, you take the same picture again. You tell Photoshop remove the people
Yeah,
because they all moved. and complete idea of what the picture could be, then it is able to actually, with artificial intelligence, remove all the people from the picture.
Yeah.
So that I did. I do that, and yeah, that's basically it. I mean, when we were in Rome, I actually made a couple of wonderful pictures in the in Vatican City. So that's definitely something to recommend as well. If you can ever go there, do yourself a favor. Rome is such a beautiful city. There is something to see everywhere, and it's very easygoing. It's very well. At least we found it pretty safe. So very easy to walk around. Not a whole lot of people who harass you.
Okay.
Very much unlike Barcelona, for instance, which is also a very nice city, but much more aimed at tourists.
Yeah, and something in between like Valencia. Well, I also like that. It's also
Valencia is also very nice, yes.
yeah, and it's a photographic city. Those are a lot of interesting places.
Yeah, and Sevilla I loved as well. That was so pretty.
I haven't been there yet.
Very, very nice. Specifically, they have a couple of very interesting architecture buildings. I think that is also a remainder of Olympic Games. The architecture buildings there, they are amazing. This is a very nice city as well.
Yeah, Olympic like in Barcelona, the stadium and stuff like that.
That is not very interesting in Barcelona. In Sevilla, it is.
Okay, interesting.
So I definitely recommend that. But yeah, so this is what I do. What I absolutely do not do, and I really dislike the sort of photography as well, is urbex, urban exploring.
Okay.
You know, the moldy chairs and collapsed buildings, all the rusty industry. No, that is not my cup of tea.
I've did it a couple of times together with a friend from one of our previous customers, and I must say it has something. I'm not sure what it is, but it's well, not forbidden, but it's not allowed, and it's also looking back into the past, and I'm not sure what it is. I wouldn't go far for urbex, but one or two times it's I find it interesting. I wouldn't go to what's it called with the nuclear explosion, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, yeah, no, I don't think that's a nice region to be in right now, anyway.
But there is a hospital in Germany that was in World War II. It was an important place. I would like to go there someday because those are very interesting. One of my dance teachers made their pictures with a couple of friends. Those were pretty impressive.
All right.
So it's
one last question, because this is one that I hear a lot, and so many people say, you know, why do you buy a expensive camera? You've got an expensive phone. There's a wonderful camera on there. Isn't that the same?
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I just recently bought a new phone, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, specifically for the filming and the photography, because it's a powerhouse on that regard. So I know, like a DSLR, you can do a lot of with a mirror and the lenses, and then you come to the system cameras with the same lenses. I mean, the whole idea of taking a specific lens and put it on your camera. I mean, it's I'm not sure what to call it. It's real hands-on. You actually are taking photographies instead of I flip my phone out, I click a button, and I have the greatest picture I could ever make. because
It
all
is,
the computational stuff in it, and
yeah.
it's
It is
not a skill.
it's consciously taking the picture, taking the time to create the right frame and look at the object that you're trying to photograph. Make sure you have the right light, the right setting, the right. It's in focus. You see maybe a bit of sky. You want your framing to be just right, and depending on the lens, the framing is different, and the how you observe the object is different, and how you experience the object is different. So that can make for completely different pictures, although you're standing in the same spot with the same camera. And
Yeah,
that is why I like using my camera for photography versus my phone. My phone is and I definitely use the camera on that a lot as well. My phone is the one to just snapshot.
Hmm.
We're out and about and we're on a terrace and we're drinking, I don't know, some cocktail. Oh, haha, let's take a picnic. That's what my phone is wonderful for.
Yeah, okay. But on the other hand, all the things you said about framing, lighting, and stuff like that, I mean, you obviously need to do it on your phone as well if you want to create a nice picture. I did a couple of sessions at my local gym where I took some movies, and I really paid attention to where is my light. I brought a rim light and stuff like that. So even though I used my phone to record a lot of movies, it's still, how do you look at the scene? How do you look at your subject? She was talking back, actually. Um, so I would argue that those things are the same for no matter what camera you're using, even though you're a point and click, a system camera, or your phone.
Sometimes they say that a good picture is just a good picture no matter the device it can with. And I agree to some point. Right? You either have the eye or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the eye, if you see the picture in your mind before you take it, then it doesn't really matter theoretically what device you take. And I specifically say theoretically because I think that if you take a semi-professional camera like the 8D I've got, or a full frame one, or a proper system camera with a full frame chip in it as well, the way that the picture comes out is always a tad better than when you do it on your phone. And you have just a couple of bits more of influence, the settings that you can take, you can do, the lighting that you can adjust, the angle, the focus, the f-stops, the stuff that you can influence up to the minor details with the camera that you cannot do with your phone.
I disagree, but yay, we disagree. But are you using the default camera app then? Because if I listen to you, I hear I cannot do or change a lot of stuff. I mean, actually, f-stops are things that are based on your lens. Obviously, you can't do with your telephone.
Yeah,
Although there are lenses that you can put on it. But all the other things like creating raw
I
images,
tried that, and that generally sucked.
okay, can be a person thing. I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure. Those
Oh,
things
I
are
have.
sold a lot.
I've got a couple of them. I'm happy to lend them to you.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm curious. No, but for photography on my phone, I don't use the standard app. I use, what's it called? Halida. So I have more control on actually the settings of the camera.
I thought I had them in my drawer, but I didn't.
Okay. So, and then the same goes for filming. I use the Black Magic, what's it called? Black Magic app. that gives me control on all the things that I'm used to on my other regular DSLR, but still on my phone. So and I actually have to put a hard disk on it or an SSD because otherwise the phone gets full. And
maybe you're right, maybe you're not. But for me, it's also a feeling, right? I mean, when I take my camera out, I'm actually out and about taking photos, and that's something I wouldn't easily do with my phone in my hand. I mean, I would feel a bit silly as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree on that. You don't get on the floor with your phone taking pictures, although you would do that with your DSLR.
And you can bluff your way in with a big camera as well.
Yeah, true.
I did that once. All right.
So, last question, because we're coming up already on 15 minutes. Man, we're talking. What do you do with your pictures? Do you put them on socials? No? Okay. So it's just for yourself and your spouse?
Very seldom. Sometimes if I have doubts about a specific picture, or I'm a member of a couple of Canon picture groups on Facebook, and if I have doubts about the quality or the reason why a specific picture turned out in a specific way, I'll post it there and ask for recommendations, improvements, comments, and you generally get a lot of feedback. Not all of it is constructive, but it tends to give you another perspective on the picture that you've taken yourself. But other than that, no.
Okay.
My pictures are mine, and I'm planning to actually create a picture wall here, which will have a couple of rotating frames. So we can take some off the wall, the old ones where you haven't that have been up for a long time, and swap them out for something new.
Yeah. So you do print them on canvas or stuff like that?
Yeah, or I've got a subscription to a magazine, and then you get a rebate at one of the better photo stores. So something like that, and then I print them on paper or canvas or something.
Yeah, well I do the same. I have a couple of canvases in the home. Actually, in the living room, one of the pictures from Valencia, like the iconic picture in, I believe it's New York, that you're looking at the building and you're standing in the middle of the street. Similar photo I took in Valencia, and that's in our living room, as well as the bridge of the Enterprise. But that's something completely different. And I sometimes put them on Instagram, like when they're funny or real good. I don't mind that to say, hey, look at me, I took it. Although I normally don't do things like that. And I put them on, what's it called? Flickr in the past, but I don't do that anymore. So it's more 500px or Instagram or Wirestock. I hope somebody buys my pictures, but it never happened. Perhaps they're not as good as I think they are.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
So with that, I think we can wrap this up. Thanks for listening. If you want us to talk about a different topic than photography, 3D printing, home automation, or something else, please let us know in the comments below. And thank you for listening.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.